It's good country.
It's very good grass-growing country as long as you get the moisture. Yeah.
There should be 10,000 cows grazing on Kane Booth's farm here on Queensland's Darling Downs. After all, this is among the nation's best cattle country. But instead of looking after his livestock, Kane has been in a bitter battle against Queensland Gas Company, QGC. Just bad luck that it's great country but there's coal down there. Bad luck for you.
Mate, it's just definitely bad luck for us.
Protected by unfair Queensland laws and with an insatiable thirst for coal seam gas, QGC has taken over and destroyed Kane's property.
Mate, it's no longer a farm, it's a gas field, you know. These people come on here, put their infrastructure everywhere. They never told me this is how it was going to be.
It's been a relentless 7-year fight, but Kane Booth is still refusing to surrender.
I have meetings with these people and we just step out of one boxing ring, you know, and I knock them down in that boxing ring. Then they'll go and put another fella up, a fresh fella, a new report, and I've got to knock him down. I keep knocking them out in this boxing ring. How do you win behind closed doors with these people? You just can't.
QGC probably expected a quick victory over this small farmer, but Kane Booth is a former champion boxer with a stubborn streak.
They deliberately do this. They know they're doing this to your family. They know if that pressure gets too much, you're just going to go away. This is what they want. This is why I won't give in.
Kane spent $500,000 on lawyers to battle big gas, but the emotional toll on his wife Sharon and their 2 sons has cost even more.
Yeah, well, we built the little shack here, and this was going to be me workers' cottage. Out here behind it towards the road, I was going to build a nice big home there for the family.
How hard has it been for your family to see that dream in ruins?
It's destroyed them, really, to walk away from something like that. And in the position that we are now.
The damage was done when QGC occupied Kane's land, installing a pipeline, then 3 coal seam gas wells and a 2-kilometre network of access roads, as Kane and Sharon told us a year ago.
You can feel the separation. You can feel that it's gone. It's like a piece of you is actually missing. You know, there's a main thoroughfare running through your property, and then, oh, there's a gas well. Oh, there's another gas well.
The problem is water, or the lack of it. Farmland gets no flatter than here, and so farmers like Kane rely on slow, creeping rainwater that's fallen kilometres away to grow the feed for the cattle.
We've had about 6 inches of rain or more, and we've only got the water that's landed on the ground, though, Charlie. You know.
But the patchwork of QGC's raised roads and pipelines has acted as a levee, holding back the water that would have flowed onto Kane's property.
You've had 6 inches as dry as a chip down there.
Land, he says, which is now stone dry and useless for fattening cattle.
We just got no rights. These people, you know, are in bed with the law, they're in bed with the government. How do you fight something like that?
G'day, Kane, how are you?
Good, mate. How you going, Pete? You found it all right,
Yeah, no problem at all.
Kane's latest fight back against QGC is to enlist Dr. Peter Bacon, an eminent natural resource scientist.
You're the expert. How do you feel when you see something like this has happened?
Well, I'm amazed that there's such a gross dereliction of environmental duty.
Dr. Bacon takes us outside the boundary of Kane's property to find the missing water.
Yeah, this is where his water is.
Yeah, it goes right along there, parallel to his fence, but it doesn't get into his property.
Clearly, the gas pipelines buried under these raised dirt roads have effectively stopped the water from getting to the property.
So how high are the barriers that they've created?
Typically 400 to 600 millimetres.
So it's not huge, but
No,
it's enough
it's a very
to
flat
dry
landscape.
out that land.
Yes, yeah. It's a requirement that they don't divert water, and legally they shouldn't do that in the landscape. It's really appalling. And that goes right up to the government level, or the departmental level. They haven't come on and said, well, is this reasonable for the water to be diverted off a farm?
After our first story, Queensland government officials did visit Kane's farm and agreed Queensland Gas Company was in the wrong.
You know, everything used to flow back into the back dams here.
Yet, 8 months later, the government's done nothing, even though the gas company itself has now admitted there is a problem.
Because the country's so flat, even very small changes in the topography around your property that we may have caused is going to have an impact.
In this latest secret recording, a Queensland gas company manager admits to Kane it's cheaper to compensate him than to fix the damage.
I think we're all agreed there's an impact there, and it won't take long for us to work out. It's going to be a cheaper option for us to up our offer.
They know. It's be a far easier option, Kane, to pay you out. And they've never done nothing about it. Just words.
A few months ago, QGC did make an offer of compensation, but Kane says the sum was an insult.
You're a scientist and this isn't good science.
No, it's not good. There's no science about it. If one of my students produced a report like this and said, this is what we're going to do, you'd fail. I'd fail them.
So the score for Queensland Gas is fail on this
It is fail on this one, absolutely.
But there's no one telling them that.
There's no one telling them that. The government seems to have just rolled over and said, oh, that's all right.
Well, this story's certainly given me a very different perspective of what it means to be a landowner in Australia. You might think you own the land, but that's not necessarily so. The sign over there tells me that I can be prosecuted. Would they really prosecute us for going in there?
They would.
This is your land, isn't it?
I agree. It's freehold land, you know, but you're not allowed to go on there. That's theirs. They own this now.
You would think the law of the land would say otherwise.
The law support them. The government supports them. You know, these people can just come in and do willingly what they want to your place, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Like the tenacious boxer he is, even against impossible odds, Kane refuses to throw in the towel. As in boxing, the crowd's heart always goes out to the little battler. But the chances of little bloke on the land winning against the big end of town are not so good. But with Kane Booth, at least we can be assured he will put up a bloody good fight.
You know, there's got to be a point where they've got to give instead of trying to take.
You will never give up here, will you?
I'm never giving up. I'm not going backwards. You know, like I said before, they want to fight. They got one.